Look what the big one has in store this week. Amazing Texas value. With Texas wallpaper at just 99 pence a roll. Sapele veneer doors only $12.99. And this Contessa bedroom fitment at $79.99 at Texas.
The big one.
Open all day, Bank Holiday Monday.
What are you supposed to do? When chocolate says hot, but the label says not. When grease says hot, but the label says not. Show me a powder that can get this clean at that temperature.
Ariel Automatic.
Ariel Automatic?
Yes, Ariel Automatic gives you outstanding cleaning even at lower temperatures where other powders can let you down. See how Ariel lifts out dirt and stains non-biological powders leave behind, even close up.
Look, the chocolate said hot, the label said not.
But Ariel got it clean.
The grease said hot, the label said not.
But Ariel got it clean.
When dirt says hot, but the label says not, Ariel gets it clean.
One of Britain's outstanding dogs, Spring Classic by Appaloosa. Everything about him says he's got what it takes to be a champion. And this is the food his breeder recommends. Everything about it says nourishment. Nourishment you can see. Firm, meaty, solid nourishment. Pedigree Chum nourishment.
I have looked at many, many brands, and I've never seen anything better than Pedigree Chum.
Pedigree Chum. Top breeders recommend it because it's solid nourishment.
Discover the world's most inspiring furniture, fabrics, and carpets at Claude Hooper. Do it in style at Claude Hooper.
Tell me, Jethro, just what is it makes them Kellogg's brand flakes so very, very tasty? Yep, tasty. Well, maybe it's the wheat.
Or maybe it's a malt.
Maybe it's a sun-up in the sky.
But why do Kellogg's brand flakes taste so very tasty?
We'll tell you why. It's Kellogg's, Kellogg's, Kellogg's make 'em tasty. So very tasty. It's Kellogg's, Kellogg's, Kellogg's make 'em tasty. So very tasty.
Yep, just checking.
Left, 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 right, left.
In the fight against plaque, the new Colgate double-action toothbrush is armed to the teeth. Colgate has a truly formidable battle plan. A diamond-shaped head to reach where others can fail. Soft outer bristles to protect gums. Firm inner bristles to combat plaque. The new Colgate double-action toothbrush. There's no better weapon for fighting plaque.
Head and Shoulders? I didn't know you had dandruff.
I don't.
Head and Shoulders? I didn't know you had dandruff.
I don't.
Head and Shoulders works. Tests prove it. Wash hair in ordinary medicated shampoo and the dandruff can still be there. But with Head and Shoulders, it's completely clear.
Head and Shoulders? I didn't know you had dandruff.
I don't.
Most people who use Head and Shoulders regularly don't have dandruff. Just healthy-looking, attractive hair.
The girl on the right is using Body and Shine Conditioner, an entirely new idea in conditioning from Alberto. It's new because unlike any liquid conditioner, you don't have to rinse it out. And you don't have to rinse it out because it's specially formulated so there's nothing to rinse out. So you get beautiful shiny hair without fussing or rinsing. New Alberto Body and Shine Conditioner. Beautiful hair without rinsing.
One day, I were locked in this here tower, eating golden wonder oddens, and I were thinking so hard about getting home for another packet that my head grew sore. So with this sore, I cut through bars and escaped from tower. I shouted and shouted until my voice grew hoarse. And on this horse, I rode away until I reached an endless wall. Well, I were in half a mind to turn back and half a mind to stay. 2 halves make a hole, so I climbed through hole. And then I saw a swarm of bees going buzz, buzz. So I caught Buzz, and I went home.
New Golden Wonder Oddens are rather unusual, oddly enough.
Life is for living, for rising and shining, for taking and making.
making the most of each moment that comes.
Today's kitty cat.
Life is for living 100%, for caring and sharing, and feeling on top of the world.
Today's tastier kitty cat guarantees 100% of the nourishment a cat needs every day to live life to the full.
You're feeling on top of the world.
Kitty cat, 100% nourishment for life.
The Tile Clearing House have one of the largest stocks of ceramic tiles in the UK, with prices from an unbelievable £1 per square yard. With over 500,000 square yards of tiles always in stock, there's no waiting. The Tile Clearing House, the ultimate in tile cash and carry, the ultimate in low prices. Branches at Tunstall, Stoke-on-Trent and Stafford Street, Wolverhampton.
At last, what you've all been dying to see, the show that shows everything. VidTel, Britain's first home video show. There'll be great new releases from the major distributors, and you can mingle with famous mystery celebrities and stars. Take in the latest hardware, take away fantastic prizes, slide into children's world, or see this, or even this in the fantastic video studio. If you're into video, get into VidTel. Saturday the 31st and Sunday the 1st at the NEC Birmingham, and amazing free parking.
Come to more than I thought.
Well, don't buy those. Get Bowl 3. The conditioner's built in, so it's much better value.
Is it? I don't see how a powder can give me all the softness and freshness I get from this.
Well, this new Bolt will. It's got a lot more conditioner in it now, and it's got a new perfume.
Smells nice. Okay, I'll give it a go.
That was mine.
Bold 3's been improved with 50% more fabric conditioner and a fresh new perfume. Now it's even better.
Oh, Liz, thanks for telling me about new Bowl 3.
So you're happy then?
Oh, you bet. Everything's so lovely and clean.
Of course.
Yes, but the surprising thing is how soft everything is.
What, soft enough even for you?
Yes. And it smells good too.
So you don't miss your old conditioner then?
Not a bit, but I'd miss Bowl 3, that's for sure.
New Bold 3. Even softer, even fresher. Even better value.
Left, 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 right, left.
In the fight against plaque, the new Colgate double-action toothbrush is armed to the teeth. Colgate has a truly formidable battle plan. A diamond-shaped head to reach where others can fail. Soft outer bristles to protect gums. Firm inner bristles to combat plaque. The new Colgate double-action toothbrush. There's no better weapon for fighting plaque.
Tell me, Jethro, just what is it makes them Kellogg's bran flakes so very, very tasty? Yep, tasty. Well, maybe it's the wheat.
Or maybe it's the malt.
Maybe it's a sun up in the sky.
But why do Kellogg's bran flakes taste so very tasty?
We'll tell you why. It's Kellogg's, Kellogg's, Kellogg's make 'em tasty. So very tasty. It's Kellogg's, Kellogg's, Kellogg's make 'em tasty. So very tasty.
Yep, just checking.
Mrs. Janet Newton of Stockport tells us why she feeds her cat best ever whiskers.
Tutu really prefers whiskers. The first time I ever bought whiskers, I just couldn't believe the difference in the quality. I think if I gave her a can opener, she'd be there opening it before I could. There's never any waste with whiskers, and she always eats every little bit.
That's because our nutritionists have been improving the quality of every whiskers recipe to make today's whiskers the most appetizing ever.
She's happy, she's healthy. What more could she want? What more could I want?
Best ever whiskers. In tests, 8 out of 10 owners who expressed a preference said their cats preferred it.
Buy a Fagor wash and dry from any of these dealers now and we'll give you 2 giant E10 packs of Ariel automatic washing powder absolutely free.
When you're sitting in the jungle and things get hot, take a go.
Go, 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 go. Ribena goodness is ready to go. Go, go.
Comfort conditions in the final rinse. Rich, thick, creamy comfort. Each and every drop has the power to penetrate deeply, to restore bounce and body. It eliminates static cling, untangles fibers, makes ironing easier. And comfort leaves woolens deep down soft. Condition everything you wash with gentle, caring comfort. Comfort is softness and so much more.
Lexi Winston is a young girl caught up in a world where raw talent counts for a lot.
Lexi can do it, Marcus. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think so.
And luck for even more.
Wish me luck. Please, Dad.
Yeah, sure, honey.
But out there on the ice, Lexi Winston is a star.
Hey, that's fantastic.
A skating star is born. Ice Castles, next Thursday at 5.
With the latest information on the crash at Manchester's Ringway Airport, Channel 4 News. That's after the break.
Here's my recipe for a great bank holiday weekend. Sports. Oh, aerobatics. Oh, fashion. And me, my new book, and lots more.
The Town and Country Festival, this bank holiday. One of Britain's outstanding dogs, Spring Classic by Appaloosa. Everything about him says he's got what it takes to be a champion. And this is the food his breeder recommends. Everything about it says nourishment. Nourishment you can see. Firm, meaty, solid nourishment. Pedigree chum nourishment.
I have looked at many, many brands, and I've never seen anything better than Pedigree Chum.
Pedigree chum. Top breeders recommend it because it's solid nourishment.
This could be you. Carefully drying every finger and toe. Each tiny crease and fold. Pretty skin, powdered, protected. But wait, choose a terry nappy and some of your care could be undone, because terry's loops hold on to water which can soak back even through a liner. Choose Pampers and the free flow padding disperses water faster, while the one-way liner works with the padding to help keep wetness away from baby's skin. Does your baby have Pampers protection? Pampers protect a baby's skin, like a mother does.
Hurry along to ELS this bank holiday and you're laughing. Save an extra 10% and buy at giveaway prices. This Berber carpet reduced to $4.95 a square yard. This dining set now only £269. The store's full of incredible bargains this Sunday and Holiday Monday.
It's something else. ELS.
Beautiful hair. I wonder how old she is.
Over 40, and proud of it.
There's no age limit to looking good. Now there's Empathy Shampoo from Johnson & Johnson, a shampoo specially created for hair over 40.
You'll notice the difference immediately.
Empathy actually helps reduce breaking, brings back body, leaves hair shiny, looking full of life. Try Empathy Shampoo from Johnson & Johnson.
Now there's no age limit to looking good.
New Liquid Vanish. Cleans and shampoos, carpets, upholstery, and everything from the living room to the kitchen. Liquid Vanish tackles all sorts of cleaning jobs quickly and easily. Liquid Vanish, the natural companion to the bar. In your local store now.
Dextrosol glucose tablets come in 5 refreshing flavours. Do sportsmen want them? Let's find out. Excuse me, do you like Dextrosol? Do you like Dextrosol? They come in 5. Do you like Dextrosol? Well, what about you then? So there you have it, conclusive proof the sportsmen do like Dextrosol.
Sportsmen like Dextrosol.
Quicks on holidays.
The shortest distance between two people is a link line. And if the code number starts with 0800, it's free.
Hello. Have a nice time.
Link line 0800. Straight through for free.
Tonight on Channel 4, Spaceflight chronicles the start of the race into space and the Mercury program, America's answer to the Russians' early successes.
I think that that was the most exciting, perhaps, of all the missions. Even the first launches of Saturn going to the moon weren't quite as exciting as the mission with Shepard, because we had been seeing a lot of failures up to that time, and here now we got a man strapped to the top of that firecracker, and it was pretty scary.
The successes and failures that led to the epic flights of Yuri Gagarin, Alan Shepard and John Glenn. Spaceflight, tonight at 8 on Channel 4. You're watching Channel 4 on this Thursday evening of the 22nd of August. Now, Channel 4 News with Peter Sissons.
Hello, good evening. Britain's worst aviation disaster for more than 13 years. 54 die, but 83 escape as a British Air Tour's Boeing 737 packed with holidaymakers burst into flames at Manchester Airport. It had been on its takeoff run when an engine exploded. The Prime Minister visits the scene and the injured in hospital. Mrs. Thatcher promises a most rigorous inquiry.
Here at Manchester Airport, the accident inspectors have already debriefed the members of the crew who survived and are sifting through the wreckage now to try and find clues as to what went wrong. Later, I'll be talking to a former head of the Accident Investigation Branch and asking him for his theories.
The 54 people who died in today's tragedy at Manchester Airport were on their way to a holiday in the sun on the Greek island of Corfu. The British Air Tour's Boeing was loaded with 131 passengers and 6 crew when disaster struck on the airport runway. Seconds before takeoff, an engine exploded, and by the time the pilot had brought the plane to a halt, it was engulfed in flames. 83 people survived the disaster, including the pilot and another 3 of the crew. Mrs. Thatcher flew to Manchester this afternoon to visit the scene and talk to survivors. She'd been scheduled to arrive at RAF Northolt in West London at the end of a holiday in Austria. Ringway Airport is the busiest in the country outside London. It lies to the southwest of the city. It was closed to air traffic immediately after the accident, and flights were diverted to Liverpool Airport. The airport is still closed as airport staff clear the shell of the plane out of the way. Investigators have already begun their search for clues as to what went so tragically wrong. This from Gavin Scott.
Shortly after 7 o'clock this morning, the British Air Tour's Boeing 737, packed with 131 holidaymakers, was speeding down the runway at Manchester's Ringway Airport at 115 miles an hour. Seconds away from takeoff, the port engine exploded into flames, the pilot slammed on the brakes, and the plane slewed off the runway onto a linkway, was engulfed by fire and broke in two. Had the pilot failed to abort the takeoff, the disaster would have been much worse. As it was, the situation inside the plane, once it had come to a halt, was one of mass panic. People rushed down the narrow aisles to the emergency exits at the front.
Like, as you got up, the smoke was coming over the top from behind you, and it just went really dark, and you were just scrambling to get out, that was all.
How did you feel when the plane crashed? Were you frightened?
Yeah, very, yeah. It was, yeah, it was. But especially when the smoke came over and you couldn't see anything, that was all.
How did you get out of the plane?
Through the chute on the left-hand side. As we were sitting, it was the left-hand side, about 6 rows in front of us.
Was the plane was the chute close to you?
Yeah, fairly close, yeah. It was just a bit of, panic to get to it, that was all. It was just that everybody was panicking to get to the door, and it just, I don't know, it seemed like a long time, but it was only a matter of seconds.
Everyone was trying to get out at the same time.
Yeah, that was all.
And the first thing I heard was a bang. He was just about to take off, I think, and there was a bang that come from the left-hand wing.
And we looked round through the windows and you could see flames and smoke and all this coming from the engines. And the plane stopped, and the cabin started filling up with a bit of smoke. And by this time, they'd opened the doors, dropped the chute down, and we'd got out then.
But many passengers were trapped in the blazing wreckage as 15 fire trucks and 100 firemen converged on the plane and covered it in a blanket of foam.
The rear two-thirds of the aircraft was well alight on arrival, and the fire was inside the aircraft.
And where were most of the passengers when your men arrived on the scene?
Well, you've heard the Assistant Chief Constable, the Deputy Chief Constable, explain that 60-odd had been taken away to hospital. Presumably they'd escaped by their own efforts.
They scrambled off, did they?
Yes.
Down the chutes or just straight out the
I don't know.
How many people were your men able to take off?
The numbers are very difficult in a situation like that. You're not concerned with counting people, you're getting people off and getting them to hospital.
In fact, 77 people were taken to Wythenshawe Hospital, which, only 5 miles from the airport, had frequently rehearsed for major emergencies such as this.
These people are mostly suffering from inhalation of toxic fumes from the burning aircraft. Some, in addition, have got superficial burns. Some of the people that we have seen are going to require a degree of plastic surgery.
But only 15 passengers were in fact detained. Of these, 5 are in intensive care, among them 2 teenage asthma sufferers who have inhaled smoke and fumes. The bodies of the 54 who died are now in a temporary morgue in an airport hangar. Relatives will begin identifying them soon. In the meantime, fire chiefs and airport officials are explaining why so many couldn't be rescued.
The moment we arrived, the rear of the fuselage from the wing towards the tail was in fact completely enveloped in fire. And the difficulty, of course, was in fact getting through that area of fire to reach those passengers.
Do they have any chance whatsoever to escape?
I think at this stage, I think we've got to say that very little chance of escaping.
The plane virtually was beside the fire station, which gave us the best opportunity for every fire tender to be brought into action and to smother the aircraft in foam. And those of you who attended the incident will have seen that the place actually is littered in foam. So that extinguished the flames. But I think we mustn't underestimate the intensity of the fire, which wasn't just on the outside of the fuselage. The inside of the cabin was in flames as well, because there is oxygen inside, and that, of course, started to explode.
How long was it before the firemen were able to go in?
That, of course, will be recorded, but we're talking about seconds. Firemen who attended the blaze said that one could see the tail crumpling within seconds because of the intensity of the fire.
How long was it?
The effects of those flames were still clear when the Prime Minister, at the end of her Austrian holiday, came to see the stricken plane. Accompanied by British Airways officials, she said she was appalled by what had happened and praised rescue workers for their efforts.
I understand that the crew and people on the ground and the firemen and the ambulancemen were superb. The crew managed to get up as many people as possible, and people on the ground risked their lives to help to get them out of the aircraft. You have seen photographs of the airport and of the aircraft yourselves. It looks as if something from the engine pierced the fuel tank in the wing, so the fuel would have disgorged onto a hot engine, and of course with oxygen coming straight at with the air going straight over the aircraft, that was the source of the fire. When we get a terrible air crash of this kind, everyone is appalled and shocked. Of course they are, because you just think, well, supposing we were on that aircraft and looking forward to where we were going, and then all of a sudden this happened. And of course your minds are very imaginative and filled with the horror of the situation and the tragedy of the families.
Mrs. Thatcher went on to visit the survivors in hospital. When she had gone, a crane moved in to inch the plane off the runway, and the accident investigators began the analysis of exactly what went wrong with flight KT-328 and why.
The Queen has sent a message of sympathy to the bereaved and injured. She said she was most distressed to hear of the accident. The Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock also sent a message of sympathy and said there would have to be a full inquiry. And the Liberal leader David Steel said he was horrified by the accident, especially as it involved one of British Airways' newer aircraft. He said it was clear that the rapid spread of the fire and the inability of so many people to escape in the ensuing panic contributed to the scale of the tragedy. There are 3 telephone numbers for people to ring if they want information about relatives who were on the crashed aircraft. 2 are in Manchester, 061 228 2685 to 8, and 061 228 2974 to 7. There's also a London number. It's 01, that's if you're outside London, 897 6333. Even before today, this was the worst year in the history of civil aviation. There have been 15 fatal accidents. More than 1,400 people have been killed. British Airlines have had a good safety record. A recent survey put them 5th safest in the world. Over a 10-year period covering more than 6 million flights, 355 people died, most of them in the crash 4 years ago at Tenerife and in the Zagreb crash in 1976. The worst ever air disaster in Britain was in 1972 when 118 people were killed after a BEA Trident crashed just 3 miles after takeoff from Heathrow. But 1985 has been disastrous, and especially for the American manufacturers Boeing. In June, 329 died in the Air India 747 crash off Ireland, and only 10 days ago, in the worst single-plane tragedy ever, another Boeing 747 crashed, this time one of Japan Airlines, killing 520 people. When the Prime Minister promised a most rigorous inquiry into the Manchester disaster, she was doing no more than state what is routine in accidents like this. That investigation has already started and is scrutinising the evidence and the circumstances. Alistair Stewart is in Manchester now.
Well, Peter, the 737 wreckage has now been completely removed and is stored in a hangar behind me, and they're trying now to get Manchester Airport back into business. Behind me on the apron, there are no less than 9 aircraft, package tour aircraft, waiting to take the hundreds of people away on their holidays who've been waiting throughout the day to get away. They clearly are not going to change their plans. Despite what's happened, they want to get away. The owners of today's crashed 737, British Air Tours, have never had a fatal accident before. It's a wholly owned but independently run subsidiary of British Airways, and it operates 11 737s. The plane itself has sold well. More than 1,000 of them are in service since it came into use 20 years ago. It was specifically designed to cope with the burgeoning short-haul, high-density sectors. There are 2 versions of the 737 in use at the moment, the 737-200 and 300, both evolving from knowledge that has been learnt over the 20 years the plane's been in use. It has, however, been involved in 7 fatal accidents, and after those 2 airline operators made modifications to the aircraft that they use. Charles Hodson has been looking at some of the previous accidents and trying to piece together what might have caused today's disaster.
This crash at